Hey everyone, what's up? It's me, Joel D. In this video, we're going to talk about how to perform competitive research. In the last two videos, I showed you how we can find a profitable niche. The next video, I showed you how to find profitable keywords within that niche. Now it's all about the competition. The main thing we want to do here is find 3 to 5 competitors that we can use to our own advantage. And the way we're going to do this is first making sure that competition actually exists. We don't want to be the first in a market or a niche. We want to make sure that it's already proven that we're getting in at the right time, it's not oversaturated, and we're going to find these competitors by using our keywords list. Next, we're going to document 3 to 5 different sponsored ad URLs and ones that have high CPC. So we've already done the research. We know that particular keywords are lucrative, so we're going to look for our most high cost per click keyword, run it through Google, and check out the ads that they're running just so we can see how they're trying to monetize on those keywords, and maybe we can take some tidbits out of that and incorporate it into our website so we can kind of replicate what they're doing, because we know that they're already spending money and there's a reason for that, because they know they can earn money. So we want to take a look at that and utilize it to our own advantage. Step 3 is probably the most important. We're going to look at our competitors' articles. So when we run keywords through Ubersuggest, they're going to give us the ability to see our competitors who are ranking on the first page for those keywords. That's our competition. We want to look at those articles and analyze them. We want to see how their on-page SEO is set up. We want to see how they're monetizing their site. There's so much we can learn from them. They've laid the blueprint out for us. We want to take advantage of that. So this is very important, and our main focus is probably going to be on this, because once we do figure that out, we're also going to try to replicate something that they've done already, which is create this massively successful article. But guess what? We're going to make a better article. So we're going to try to see everything that they're using from an asset and content perspective, whether or not there's infographics, whether or not there's 10,000 words on the page and they're getting into every intricacy. Well, we're going to build upon that, making an article that's similar, obviously not copying their content or anything, but creating our own article that's better than theirs. I mean, that's the biggest advantage to doing research, is finding what people are doing that's successful, making it better. And I mean, Google loves that. They know that people love these type of articles, and if you make something better, they're going to want to show your article to their audience. Step 4 is using either Google Keyword Planner or Ubersuggest based on the URL that we find. I like to use Keyword Planner here, and they have a really cool tool that I'll show you where you can run their URL, the exact article, and their generic URL, and it'll just pull up everything from a keyword perspective on what your competitors are ranking for. So it's more generic based, but you'll see that within particular articles that there's actually, like I said in the past, we want to build out our keywords that they're not completely niche, that we're telling search engines that there's a broader range here and to bring more people to our article. So this is a great way to see that. So if I looked at a particular article for a competitor around, dog anxiety medication, you may be able to see that they're also ranking high for other keywords like, dog anxiety pills or something related to medication, but maybe not medication specific. It's just a way that we can really hone in on what they're doing and how they're driving so much traffic to those top pages. Step 5 is obviously going back to our keyword list and documenting our keyword competitors. So we created that template, we created the tracker. So we want to add our competitors' keywords, and we'll have a little column in there that signifies that it's a competitor keyword, and then we're going to remove any duplicates. But it's just another way. It's going to add to our list, so when we stack rank them, we have our competitors' keywords included within that list. And finally, step 6, I did get ahead of myself a little bit with step 3. Step 3 is just documenting those URLs, but step 6 is doing what I had mentioned, which is, figuring out on-page SEO, monetizing based on what our competitors are doing, maybe utilizing some of their strategies, and most importantly, document all our findings, because once we figure out what they're doing on-page SEO wise, we want to create our structure and our pages in a similar fashion, and then we want to really hone in on how we can earn with those pages. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my keyword tracker, and I'm going to start playing around by searching for these keywords so I can see what the competition's like for these keywords. And I did a little digging offline where I was looking at dog anxiety separation, and I found a really good keyword that was, again, broadening my range for that type of keyword, and puppy separation anxiety came up, and I really liked it. It was 3,600 searches per month, around $1 cost per click on average, a lower SEO difficulty, so 20, which is very feasible if we want to try to compete. So I added that as a top pick, and I'm going to go ahead and take this keyword. I'm going to start looking at the competition around this. All right. Now I'm going to go back to Ubersuggest, and I'm going to type or paste this in, puppy separation anxiety, click enter, and I'm going to come up with what I just showed you, the 3,697 CPC, 17 for paid, and 20 for SEO difficulty. And right over here, I'll be able to see what's ranking on the first page without having to go to Google. And the first thing I look for is this domain score. So if you see all domain scores with, 90 to 100, and it's going to be very hard to get on page one because there's such domain authority out there with these other sites. But this is a great example because you can see there's mixed in some websites that aren't huge, don't have a 90 to 100 domain score, and we're gonna really want to focus on these types of websites so we know that we can rank up in this keyword, because there's other people that are doing it with 16s, 35s, 52s, and if you go down to page 2, you can see there's ones with 2 domain scores. I am in my paid account now, so I can see page 2. If you have a free account, you can't see this page, but you'll be able to see the top 10 results. And also, the next thing I look for is backlinks. So I'm going to talk about backlinks in a later video and how we can increase our domain authority by generating backlinks, and I'm going to show you ways to scale that process. But I just want to show you here that there's another, I got 47 right here, that's number 2. So that's good, and there's only 3 backlinks. So this is something you can compete with. Typically when you get these humongous websites that have 100 domain score and crazy domain authority, they're going to have like that 600 backlinks. Tougher to compete with if this is all really high for links. So you can see there's 3, 5, 4, 0 right here. Commer K9. I'm going to probably use this as one of my competitors to look at, but 0 backlinks, 35 domain score, and they're on page 1. So this is an awesome example of, and this will be one of my top 5, I can already tell you, or top 10 at least, for keywords that I want to focus on when I'm starting. And I'm going to dive in a little further right now and show you what I look for. I'll start off with where we see the lowest domain score. So there's a 16 here, 4 backlinks, only 5 social shares, and this is a good example of what I want to look for in something that I can compete with. And I'm going to go and click on this. It'll bring me to the actual source, and I can see that we're at John's Natural Dog Training Company. This is a blog, but obviously this is an excellent example for what I'm trying to kind of mention to you within this entire course, which is bring people in through SEO type articles, which he's doing. This one's around separation anxiety for dogs, canine separation anxiety. Now you can see with just a quick glance at his website that he's offering many ways to monetize in this niche. He's offering private training. Look, he has all these programs. He's got a canine personal trainer. He's got group classes, products we can look at later, dog training collars, essential oils. This is exactly what I'm trying to teach in this course, is how you can get into a niche. You can bring in a ton of traffic if there's demand for it, and then you can start becoming an authority in this space, and people are going to listen to you, and they're going to want to know what you're doing to help your dog, and then they're more willing, once you get trust, to start purchasing things that you're recommending because they have trust in you. The next thing I notice is looking at this article. You can see what he's doing, and I'm going to show you a little trick that I use, but he's definitely hitting on separation anxiety for dogs, and you can see he's listing that in almost every H1 or H2 tag. I'll see what that is in a second, but he has that in every single one, including the header, including the URL. We're going to talk about that. We're going to use a tool called Yoast SEO in WordPress, and it's going to actually walk us through this. This article, I mean, is nothing special. We can crush this article, and we would definitely rank quickly to page 1, in my opinion. All right, now I'm going to tell you about this tool that I use, and it's a free tool, SEO Minion. And if I click on this, it's going to give me a breakdown of everything about this on-page SEO. So when I'm talking about on-page SEO, I'm talking about what I just talked about. So you can see, again, what they're doing for H1 tags, how they're positioning themselves. So when Google scrapes and indexes their site, they're going to be looking at these tags, and it's going to tell Google what exactly your article is about. So they're really focusing on canine separation anxiety. They have separation anxiety in the URL, H1 tags, but SEO Minion is going to tell you exactly how this page is structured from an on-page SEO standpoint. So when I click on this, I can say analyze on-page SEO, and in the title, it'll show me, one, you want limited characters, so 60 or less. They're doing a good job there. Separation anxiety's in there, dogs in there. It's not a direct keyword that they're using unless they're using separation anxiety, but this is just another kind of breaking it up, not using, separation anxiety for dogs necessarily, but they have the word dog in there. They have separation anxiety. Google will pick up on that. They're not even adding a description. This is another miss on their part. So we can capitalize on that by creating a good description, and I'll show you how to do that again in a later video. Then I like to look at these headings. So when I talked about H1 tags, so again, SEO or Yoast SEO is gonna walk you through how to set this up and tell you if it's wrong or not. So this is great. They have 2 H1 tags. They're offering that keyword's canine separation anxiety. And then they have an H2 tag that's unleash your dog's potential. And then if I click show all headings, you can see that their site is not structured in a great way. And I'm not going to dive too deep into why this isn't structured properly, because I'm going to do that in another video. But just a quick reference is, if you're not familiar with H1 tags, H2 or H3, all the way up to H6, that's what these are. So you're basically their heading tags, and this is just telling Google your H1 is typically your most important tag to tell Google what your article is about. But then, depending on the length of your copy and the length of your article, you're going to want to utilize H2 and H3 tags within your article all the way up to H6, like I said, with keywords that we want to focus on. So when I said broadening our range, like for instance, this article is getting shown and we were looking for separation anxiety in dogs, and this isn't structured for that keyword exactly, but they have enough room in this article where they're kind of letting Google know exactly what it's about, and Google can understand that article is related to separation anxiety in dogs. So that's what I mean. There's dog again in the H1, there's separation anxiety. Google pieces this together. It's not an exact keyword that we need to just copy and paste into every tag, you know what I mean? We want to create some variety there. And I'm going to look at some of their offerings from a monetization standpoint. So you can see they offer all these programs. I'm just going to go to their program payment page, because usually that'll just give you a list. Yep. So gives you a list of everything they're offering. So you, again, can utilize this for your own business or your own blog. Now they're offering $1,200 personal canine details. I don't know what the details are, but so 12 customized lessons, lifetime admission to obedience. I mean, you could create a course around this like I'm doing for my blog course. You could create, you don't have to be, it doesn't look like there's any special licensing here. And again, I'm no canine anxiety specialist, so I could be wrong on that, but for any niche, this is just a concept here that I'm talking about, is you can build your domain authority within this niche and then start offering your own products. So they're not doing that necessarily with everything, because it looks like they're providing products that they recommend. If I were to click on some of these, it's talking about recommending them. So they're getting kickbacks most likely from an affiliate program, but they are offering their own lessons. They're offering group classes for lessons, training, silver program, all these different types of offerings for monetization purposes. And we can set this up on our own site. Now I'm going to just click in their products for the fun of it. So essential oils. Yeah, see, recommended products. So they're definitely partnering probably with someone, and although it doesn't even look like they're taking advantage of this, I don't know if this is an actual affiliate link, because if I look down here when I'm hovering, I don't see an affiliate link, but you never know how they have this structured on the back end either. So this is a great opportunity for you where you could actually be putting a list of products. So in this case, anything related to dog anxiety, and then recommending people to specific products. And instead of just linking to the site, you can work affiliate deals out, and most of these will probably have affiliate programs, and then you put your own affiliate link in. So when someone clicks on that from your site, you're going to be getting kickbacks or commissions for them purchasing, because you're referring your audience to these businesses. So this is a great example of what we can do. They're drawing people in with this article about separation anxiety. Now that I'm here, I'm reading about it. You can link within the article to your inner pages that we're just looking at, so it doesn't look like they're doing that too much. Again, we can really improve upon this. They're really focused on their own stuff, which is good. I mean, they're probably making a lot more money doing training and whatnot for themselves, so they're just giving value, and then if you need help, they're offering a solution. So this is good to just see how they're strategizing from a monetization standpoint. Now let's go ahead and copy this. We were going to want to save this article so we can come back to it when we're creating our own content, and we can, like I said, make drastic improvements to this, create our own article that provides more value. So I'm going to copy this and go back into my keyword tracker, and I'm going to add a new tab, and I'm just going to name it competition. And I'm just keeping this simple spreadsheet. You can do this however you'd like, but I want to keep my keywords here, track my competitors all in one document. I don't want to be shifting around, so this is just my personal preference, and I could clean this up and make it prettier later, but right now I just want to track the information that I'm looking at. So now I have this URL that I can reference later when I'm creating my content, and I'm going to do this with a few more competitors. And while I'm at it, I'm going to add another tab and call it monetization. And I'm going to start listing out ways that my competitors are monetizing their site. So there was training in this instance, because I'm doing helping anxious dogs. Training, there was recommended products. Looked like there was some consulting, just for, said to call them to consult over the phone, so I'm going to add that. What else were they doing? there was classes, just some generic monetization strategies that they're using that we may be able to piggyback on. Now let's head back over to Ubersuggest. I want to show you a couple other things. I'm going to click actually on the link itself now for johnknowsdogs.com. And what this is going to do is going to give me a layout of his site, or her, well, it's his site. So we can see that he's ranking nicely for organic keywords, which is awesome. Good for him. His domain score is not super high yet, but he's probably building on that. His backlinks aren't high with 280. That's fairly low for a website. I mean, I don't know how long he's been out there though, so this could be high given if he's only had a website for a little while. But his website looks outdated, so it's probably been around for a little while. All right, so then I like to see, you can go down to top pages and you'll see all the pages that are driving him the most traffic, and you can see separation anxiety is number 2, and that's giving him the majority of his organic traffic. Awesome news, because this is the one we want to focus on competing with. And if he's our competitor and he's competing with that article that I don't think is strong at all, we can really take advantage of that and outperform him there. None of the other articles are anything I'd look at right at this moment. Again, as we go on and I start building out my first 5-10 articles or pieces of content, I'm gonna maybe want to come back into my competitors and see what their lower volume pages look like and what they're about, like housebreaking your puppy, dog collars explained. This is a good way to, you explain dog collars and then you promote specific dog collars that you prefer and get commissions for that. Now I'll head back to overview, scroll down, and it'll give me a layout of all the SEO keywords that johnknowsdogs.com is ranking for. So as you can see, most of them are their location based. So he's in San Diego, obviously. So a lot of the traffic he's getting is local, and he's a dog trainer. A lot of people are going to be in this niche, hoping, I'm sure, that you can do a in-person training. So if that's you, that's great. You would just be focused on creating content around your current location. But puppy separation anxiety is up there, and it's actually one of his biggest volume drivers, and he's ranking on the first page too. So awesome. Another thing to look at, and we're going to do this when I'm teaching you how to scale your backlinks, is Ubersuggest has this backlinks option. So if I click on this, I'll show you real quick, but I don't want to get too far into it because I can talk for hours about this, but it'll tell you exactly all of the referring domains. So who the backlinks are that are sending traffic to John's site. And you can see it'll tell you the anchor text that they're using. So John's Natural Training, dog food sample, and you can see the article, and you can actually go to the article, look at it. And when we're scaling backlinks ourselves, once you create that better article, we'll be able to filter out the referring domains that are sending people to John's article, mention that we have an improved article on that, have them check it out, tell them that we really enjoy their article, we think it's great content, we see you're referring your users to John's Natural Dog Training website. However, we have a better article, it's more up to date. Would you consider linking to us instead? Something that simple. Again, I'm not going to get into it. We'll get into that down the road, but that's kind of how that's going to work. Now I'm going to click the back button and go back to the puppy separation anxiety keyword ideas. And I want to look at a couple of these other articles because I don't think that one was set up very well. And I want to go to one that actually has a good SEO structure. So I'm going to start and look at number 2. This person's higher. They only have 3 backlinks. They're a 47 domain score, so that's a little bit higher than the 16 that John is and the 35 that Calmer K9 is. So that's probably why they're getting a little lift, but they also may have better on-page SEO. So I'm going to go check that website out. It looks more up to date already. And we can see that definitely the article is structured more in a blog type article. Yes, Google loves infographics, by the way. Search engines love infographics. So you can see they're really taking advantage of that. Good to know. So we'll want to cite that, as that seems to be a way to rank a little bit higher. Obviously the domain score is better too, so it's not a direct correlation, but again, Google does love infographics. They love videos. They love anything that you can incorporate into your long articles. And you can tell just by the size of this bar that there's more characters and there's more words within this article, so that's probably giving them another one up on the others. Oh yeah, they are really heavy on infographics here. So they may not even theoretically have as many words, but when I go into my SEO minion, analyze SEO, I can see again there's 60 characters. I didn't mention this last time, but this will tell you the amount of words they have in characters. So this isn't a huge article. Again, 1,639 words. We could up that, but again, they have a lot of infographics. So infographics do have words, they're just not tracked here. And H1 tags, soothe your puppy's separation anxiety, puppy separation anxiety, puppy separation anxiety, separation anxiety. You can see how they're structured in a much better way. So if I show all headers, they at least have some H2 tags with separation anxiety and puppies. Again, this is exactly what I talked about in the prior video, which is puppy separation anxiety and then separation anxiety and puppies. You don't always have to stuff that same keyword into each of these tags. You just want some differentiation to, you know, cover a broader base. Causes of separation anxiety. So again, this isn't great. I think we could increase the length of this. We can include more relevancy for keywords in here, create our own infographics that are helpful. So we're building now an understanding of how we can compete, I hope, with these articles. The first one, nothing really I mean, from an SEO standpoint, nothing crazy. It's not structured well. This one's structured better, but it's nothing, I mean, that we can't compete with. And there's never anything that you can't compete with. I just like to see longer content with more H2s and H3 tags, and we can create our own article that has that, include infographics as well. So this is something that, again, we could dominate, I think. Soothe your puppy separation anxiety. This is not anything that a search engine's saying you have no chance to compete with this article. If we create something better, we crush the content side and just make it more informative, make it more appeasing to the audience members, there's less bounce rate, we're gonna move up in the rankings quite quickly. All right, I'm gonna take this URL again and copy it. Head back over to my keyword tracker, go to competition, and paste my new competition link. So these are two articles that later on I can go check out, combine the two, formulate a plan and a strategy to outperform both of them at the same time, create awesome content, and we'll be well on our way to get up on page 1 of Google and start driving traffic to us, and then figuring out what types of monetization strategies that we can use. And you're going to want to repeat this process for each keyword that you want to create an article around, because you're going to focus on one primary keyword per article. You do not want to create multiple articles that are focused on the same primary keyword, because when you do that, you're going to cannibalize your own traffic. So always think that way. You're going to have one article per primary keyword. I just found 2 competing articles. You're going to want to repeat the process and find 3 to 5 for each of your primary keywords so you can utilize that competition to your advantage. Now we're going to head over to Google, and I'm going to show you how to compete with people who are monetizing in a review or ranking type way with their blog posts. So you don't want to just create these same, generic informational articles all the time. You want to incorporate some variety. So I want to show you, I'm going to use that same kind of keyword, but I'm going to make it more buyer intent, so there's products, so that we can rank these products, provide reviews and information around that. So when we draw people in with an informational article within there, we can say to help your dog's anxiety, we use these vests. Here, go check out our other article that includes a ranking list of the 5 to 10 best vests that we recommend. Now I'm going to type in best anxiety blanket, actually vests for dogs, and you can see if I stop there, I can see some other suggested keywords. But this is buyer intent. You remember what I said, best meaning people are looking for reviews. So when I have a best anxiety vest for dogs article, that has buyer intent all over it, because people are gonna be in the market to buy something when they're looking at reviews like this, because they're expecting someone to give them all the information about a product and then give them a link or an opportunity to purchase that product. Now I'm going to click enter, and I'm going to be shown, you can see now there's ads included here. So we're going to want to check out some of these ads. Not these are actually Google shopping ads, so they're going to go directly to like a a Shopify type site. We don't really want to see that at this point, but we can see that we can compete here, because in the top 10 on average there's only 14 backlinks. There's a domain score of 51. Those are pretty low averages. And then within the articles we can see that we're gonna have these types of review articles that we can compete with. So the domain traffic for this site's pretty high, but as I go down, I want to show you something else. There's most likely going to be some advertisements for this, and that's what we want to look at real quick. Perfect. So dog anxiety jackets, don't buy until you read this. This is a part of what I was saying we want to look at, because this means they're creating articles and reviews and ranking blog posts, and then they're actually advertising it and paying money for people to go there. Meaning, again, this is a buyer intent keyword, so they know that people are looking to buy, so they're willing to spend money because they know people are going to click on their links to purchase things. Not everybody, but if you run the numbers game and they're able to convert X amount of people, which they're likely doing if they're spending money, then they're willing to spend money to $1 to make $2 to $3, most likely $3 plus. So I'm going to click on this article. This will be a good example, because yep, perfect. So you can see this is a blog post, but it's structured differently. So sometimes you probably don't even recognize that this is a blog post. First off, you can see they're adding the products up front. So they don't really care necessarily about providing the in-depth information. They care more about just getting you to click on a link to purchase something, because they're likely going to get, if it's not their own product, they're going to get a commission on anything that they drive to a different site as an affiliate. So these could be Amazon products, for instance, and if we clicked on this link, you're instantly cookied with Amazon. And if you're an Amazon Associates member or affiliate, you're going to get a commission if someone purchases this through Amazon, because you referred your audience member to the Amazon platform. Now you can see they're providing, this is the best of the best, this is the best bang for your buck. They're just giving information about the products and what they recommend. They give you the bottom line. This is the original and the most recognized brand on the market. They'll give you the pros and the cons, and then they'll tell you how they decided to select any of this. And then as you scroll down, this is when the blog actually will start, and this is what's capturing a lot of the SEO value and how they're trying to rank for this keyword as well, dog. And you can tell what it is, dog anxiety jackets. It's in their domain, it's in their main title, and as we work through the article, it's going to be in most of their tags. Not all, but most. Dog anxiety jacket, prices, tips, etc. Now, what I want to do is click on that SEO minion that I was telling you about earlier, analyze the on-page SEO, and now you can see that they're using 53 of 60 characters. I'm not sure why this isn't accurate. There's more than one word, but if I refresh, I could probably get the actual number, but that's okay. We don't really need it. There's a description in this, so they're using 149 out of 150 characters. You can tell that this is set up in an SEO friendly way. So just seeing that they're so close to 60, they're so close to 150, that's not by accident. And now when I go into the headings, actually I am gonna refresh this because that should be in there. And I'm gonna click on SEO minion. Here we go. Now there's 2,370 words, so it's a fairly lengthy article, but we can obviously create something better. There is the H1 tags, which have anxiety jackets, dog anxiety jackets is the main primary keyword. So they're not going to have another article on best reviews that offer this same primary keyword. Considerations for selecting a dog anxiety jacket, anxiety jacket prices, and if I show all headings, again, they're doing a fairly good job based on the length of their article. I think Yoast will recommend with this length of an article more use of this keyword, so we can check that out and maybe we can outperform them just by creating better SEO. Again, they have a paid ad out there for this. So they're, in general, if they're spending $1 to get a click, like I just clicked on their ad, they're expecting X amount of people to follow through with one of these links and convert into a buying customer, because they wouldn't be spending, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars on ads if they weren't getting a return on their investment. So that's good to know. That means that this is a lucrative keyword for one, dog anxiety jackets. It's another one that I'll probably add to our repertoire of keywords that we're tracking. And now I can also see how they're structuring. They're putting the products up front so people click on it more. That's the most important thing that they're trying to get. So that's good to note. They're not writing the article first and then putting this at the bottom. They want people to get to this site, say, "Ooh, shiny, best of the best. Let me click on that." That's their main intent for this page. You can tell this is the most important portion of the article. And then, again, like I said, to rank higher, they're trying to incorporate, extra information down here. So how dog anxiety jackets work, considerations for selecting the jacket, size, material. They try to break it out into everything. Google loves this. Color, and then what the prices are, tips, etc. So great article to replicate and make better for, and it doesn't have to be for dog anxiety jackets. This is probably a good one, but we could do this for, dog anxiety vests, dog anxiety blankets, etc. And it's going to be, again, a differentiating blog post on your site instead of the mundane same basic informational blog post. Now let's go back to my tracker. I'm going to add this in there. Say it's a ranking page, and we'll say these are, generic or informational. That sounds better. Okay, and now I'm going to actually add some monetization notes. So for ranking affiliate products, I'll call it, because that's what they're doing. And then note, I would just put a note, put products at top, then SEO friendly article below with useful tips etc. So we can go back again. Once we start monetizing our site, we're going to go back to this list anyway. I'm going to take some of this, I'm going to incorporate it into my own article structurally, and then we can start building it out, whether it's for jackets or for blankets, doesn't really matter. We just want that structure because it's a fairly common one. Now let's go back here because I want to see one that's ranking high from an SEO standpoint. So for this keyword, because I want to show you what the best structure is for a review site. So that one wasn't the best, but they're paying for ads, so they're getting on page 1. They're spending money to do that. If you want to get there organically, I want to take a look at one of these sites that are ranking organically. So there's a lot of them. Best dog anxiety vests in 2020, scientific proof, 5 best dog anxiety vests, undershirt, best dog anxiety vest of 2020, my pet needs that. So let's take a look at this. It's the number 1, so it's obviously gonna have pretty good structure, and you can see exactly this confirms that this is a best practice, and what they're doing in the paid version versus SEO is very similar. The products are at top. They want people with buyer intent to click on these. And this one, you can see if I hover in the lower left hand corner, you can see these are all going to Amazon. So they are an Amazon associate affiliate, and anytime you click on any of these, they don't give you the price. You notice they're strategically using things like best choice, premium pick, best value, but they don't give you a price. You know why? Because they want you to click on this link. So check the latest price, check the latest price. It's not because they don't know. It's because if you tell them the price and they don't like it, they're not going to click on Amazon. But if you give them a little, preview into what they could get, they're more likely to click. Everything that people are doing in these blogs and what you need to be doing is strategic. And this is something we're going to note. This is great information. They're offering the product up front. You can click on it, go to Amazon, and be on your way to be cookied as an affiliate and get commission if someone purchases something on Amazon. And by the way, it doesn't have to be this dog vest either. So if you click on this as a visitor, and they're cookied this mypetneedsthat.com as the affiliate, if I purchase anything on Amazon within 24 hours, they have a shorter cookie policy on tracking or anything. When you go to Amazon, it's not as long as like an affiliate program that offers like a 30-day cookie, because Amazon's so big and they know people are going to Amazon anyway. So they'll give you 24 hours. If this person purchases something within 24 hours, no matter what it is, you're going to get a commission for that. Then I can scroll down and they go into more detail about each of the products. And again, check the latest prices on it, and then check the latest price on Chewy. So what do you know? They're duplicating their process as an affiliate. So Chewy has their own affiliate program. Amazon has their own affiliate program. They're saying, hey, check either one of these out. And they're going to probably be doing testing on seeing which one they're clicking on most. And it's most likely Amazon, because if Chewy was getting more clicks, guess what? This would be a Chewy link. All right. Coming down, pros and cons. This is a nice structure. It's got an image, a title, the link right there to go purchase it if you want, pros and cons, key features, and they're just going through each list or each item within their list. And then at the bottom, there's going to be like some FAQs. Yep. How does a dog anxiety vest work? All of the same type of stuff that last article was doing, just in a little bit of a better way. And then you can see they're breaking it out into, more informational specific criteria. So size, fittings, fastenings, materials, how to calm an anxious dog, sources, etc. And then they're posting related posts at the bottom, so you can go to another article and potentially purchase something from them. Great information. And again, we're going to be including very similar articles on our niche website blog. So this is great. Now I'm going to take this link and I'm gonna add this also to my tracker. Okay, now I'm going to go to my tracker. I'll paste in that URL so I can come back to it later. I'm going to say ranking page, SEO. This one was a ranking page, paid. Anything I can do to just remind myself when I'm looking at this later, how I found this or what it's related to is the best thing you can do. It's going to save you time and just going to give you, that insight come back real quick. The other note I want to add here is, okay, they put the products at top, that's right. Then the SEO friendly article at the bottom with useful tips, that's the same. But I want to add that additional tip that they're not adding prices. Not adding prices to their CTA or call to action, so that button basically. Just to give them some more interest in clicking that link. Now I'm going to quickly head back over to the article itself, and I'm going to just quickly look at their SEO minion on page SEO, and you can see this is almost 3,000 words. Google loves that. Search engines love that. It's 57 out of 60 characters. Again, that's ideal. 142 out of 150 characters for a description. That's great. And now this is kind of more in line with what I would expect. And this is why it's ranking well from an SEO perspective. So you can see there's one H1 tag, which there should be only one. There's their keyword, their main keywords in there. Best dog anxiety vest. And then they added in a year. And then best dog anxiety vest buying guide, H2. How does a dog anxiety vest work? H2. When to use a dog anxiety vest? H2. And you can see they're just continually, adding their keyword within these H2 tags, telling Google and search engines that, hey, this is exactly what you're going to find in our article, and we're going to give you all the information that you need to make a good purchasing decision. And this is a great user experience. So any search engine that's worth anything, particularly Google, wants their audience to be happy. They don't want them to click on things that are irrelevant where they just bounce. They want them to get the information that they need. And once you can get people visiting your site and they're not bouncing right away, you're giving them what they're looking for, or they're clicking on links to other sites that are relevant, Google is going to keep ranking you higher because they know that you're providing value to their audience. Now there's one last thing I want to show you, and that's taking this URL. So say you were having issues finding profitable keywords or keywords related to your competition. Another way to do that, and I think this is a really cool way, is take this URL of your competitor, and we're going to head over back to Google Keyword Planner, and I'm going to discover new keywords, but this time I'm going to start with a website, and I can put my competitor's URL in there, and it's going to tell me everything that they're ranking for. Again, Ubersuggest has a similar feature, but let me just show you the difference here. And Ubersuggest may offer the same thing, but I'm not positive. I can actually put the exact URL in here and say use this page only to look for keyword specific criteria, and Google is going to tell you any related keyword to this article. So again, if you're coming up with shortages of profitable keywords, this could be another option. Find your competitors' articles, add them in here, search specifically on that URL, not the entire URL, and just find related keywords here. And then again, you can filter by a low competition score or CPC or search volume or whatever you think is going to be most helpful. But it's just another opportunity for you to kind of do some analysis around your competition and what their articles are geared toward. I could also go back and just create a query based on the generic URL, and this one's not going to be the best because my pet needs that, Monetization.com is not really related just to anxiety. Remember, this was a paid advertisement. They have a review of the best products for that, but it's not geared specifically in that sub niche. So it's not going to pull great results, and I'll show you. Yeah, exactly. So it's talking about all natural dog food. So this is kind of what this website is related to, not specific to that niche. If we wanted to look for this specific niche, it would be better to use johnknowsdogs.com, and I'll show you exactly how that works. We'll go back here and I'll start with just the generic URL, and this is going to be a lot more geared toward your specific niche if you're in the anxiety dog niche. Yeah, and it's talking mostly about training because that's what his website's geared toward. He does have articles about separation anxiety specifically, but that's more to bring in organic traffic and then get them to reach out and let him train their dog for them. Okay, one more search just to show you. This one's going to be specific to separation anxiety. Use only this page, get results. And again, this would be an example of a competitive article that you're trying to beat out, and just run it through here and look at the keywords that are relevant to this article. You may be missing one. If you find one, add it to your keyword tracker and go from there. Now, circling back and recapping what we just learned, we're here to find 3 to 5 competitors for each primary keyword that we want to use to create a blog post on our site. So we want to make sure that there is competition there. We don't want to be the first person to be writing an article with that primary keyword, or it's just not going to work. There's probably no one looking for it. Then we want to document everything. So we want to make sure that we're looking at our competitors' on-page SEO and monetization strategies. We're looking at their ads. We're making sure we're going to structure our site in the same kind of way to monetize and generate revenue. We also want to run our keywords through specific tools that's going to give us differentiating factors on what we can include in our articles that's going to make it better. So we're ready to reach out afterward to referring domains that are referring to our competitors and try to steal those backlinks from them. So we want to make something better, let them know, hey, we have a better article, it's more up to date, it has more information, link to us instead. And this is all going to help us increase our own domain authority and rank higher in Google. So hopefully this was helpful. Most importantly, make sure you're documenting everything. You have your keywords, your competitors, and your monetization strategies all in one document, preferably. Whether that's a Word doc or Excel doc or Google doc, doesn't really matter. Make sure that's just all together at this point. Don't overthink things. Don't go too far into rabbit holes. You just want to get a sense of how you want to structure yourself within your own niche. And in this case, for dog anxiety, yours could be, something completely different. But take the same approach, do your competitive analysis, and capture everything that you can and document it. So hopefully this was helpful. You got a lot. It was a lot, again, an hour's worth of content. So you probably got questions. Post them on our Facebook group, post them in this this video page, however, or reach out to me specifically if I take a little long. Obviously, like I said, normally I get a ton of emails, so bear with me, but I try to get back to everybody as soon as possible. So thanks again for your time. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, everyone.